In today's episode, I'm going to talk about 3 of the biggest mistakes realtors are making that's hurting their business. We're not going to blame the market. We're not going to blame rates. We're not going to blame the inventory. We're not going to blame the economy, because here's the thing, realtors. There are other agents in your market that are doing great, that are having career years, and they're in the same exact market you're in. So stop blaming those things and start focusing on what you can do to win. The first big mistake that I see realtors making right now in regard to having the success they're looking to have is that they're busy, but they're not productive, okay? I hear realtors say it all the time. Dave, I'm working nonstop. You know, what more do I have to do? Well, tell me about the type of work that you're doing. Are you redesigning your logo? Are you reorganizing your CRM? Are you watching constant YouTube videos? Because here's the thing, if you're doing all those things, but you're not having real estate conversations, that's called being busy. It's not being productive, okay? Real estate isn't that complicated. You need to start by having conversations, because conversations lead to appointments. Appointments lead to contracts, and contracts lead to closings, okay? But if you're not having conversations, you're not in a business, you're in an activity, right? So I see people all the time telling me how busy they are, but they're not productive. Part of that starts with having a great schedule. Part of that is time blocking appropriately. And if you're not doing those things, it's not working, all right? And really, guys, it is daily conversations, okay? Daily conversations. You have business sitting in your phone that you're not getting to, all right? It's not sending emails. It's not planning. It's not doing research. It's simply having conversations with people that you know about real estate and having those conversations every day. That leads to the second mistake that I see realtors making. Realtors tell me all the time, they're waiting to feel confident. And here's the thing, right? They think, I need more training. I need to know more. I need to feel ready. But here's the secret of confidence, guys. Confidence doesn't come from planning. Confidence comes from action, okay? You take action and then you become confident. You don't become confident and then take action. It doesn't work like that. And I have this conversation with people all the time. And look, it's not just about real estate. This is true in every aspect of your life. If you want to be really good at something, it starts by having a willingness to suck at it first. All right. I think I've said that before. But if you want to get better at having conversations with people, your first few conversations might be awkward. They might not be super comfortable. All right. But you have to start by having them, because once you start having those conversations, you get better and better at it, especially if you're someone who has the ability to be reflective and look back. What went well? What didn't go well? What did I talk about that sounded great? What did I talk about that didn't sound so great? And then as you make those adjustments and you improve your skill set, guess what happens, guys? Confidence is born. Confidence is born out of action, whether it's trying to have more real estate conversations or whether it's trying to hit your driver straighter down the fairway. All right? You get there by doing it, by practicing it, by putting your skills into action and then refining them and making them better with each step. The third big mistake that I see realtors making is that they almost play it too small. All right? They make goals that maybe aren't quite pushing them to have those uncomfortable conversations, to follow up relentlessly, right? Look, if you hit every single goal you ever set for yourself, I'm telling you now, you're not setting your goals high enough. It's just, that's the fact. You're supposed to set goals. You're supposed to work towards them, but some of them you're not going to reach. And that's okay. Because if you don't reach every single goal, at least you have the ambition, you have the drive to try to get there. And a goal that you didn't reach this year, you might get there next year. But if you're just comfortable playing it safe, playing it small, if it feels awkward to ask for a referral, so you just don't do it. Look, guys, if you want business, you have to ask. Quit playing it small. Set your goals a little bit higher, even if you don't get there. Look, I'd rather an agent walk into my office and say, Dave, I'm very disappointed. I set a goal to sell $3 million this year, and instead of selling $3 million, I only sold $2 million. As opposed to an agent who walks into my office and says, Dave, great news. I hit all my goals. I wanted to sell $1 million and I sold $1.2 million, right? So which agent's more successful? It depends, right? It depends on a lot of different things. But I think setting your goals to a point that forces you to take actionable steps to achieving them, even if you don't quite get there, that's okay. Quit limiting yourself by setting goals that aren't quite big enough. Here's the thing that I can tell you about these mistakes. There's a pattern that I see, and it's that the gap between the struggling agents and the successful agents, it's not talent in a lot of cases. It's the intensity at which they work, all right? Top agents have tighter schedules. They have stricter standards. They track their numbers. They know where their business is coming from. Struggling agents, they hope more. They plan more. They talk about it more, but they definitely execute less. And here's the shift. Here's something that I want you to do. If you're in this category of struggling agents, all right, the next time you ask yourself the question, what is the market doing right now? Change that question. Don't say, what is the market doing? Ask yourself, what am I going to do today that will directly impact the income that I can create? Quit asking what the market is doing. Ask yourself, what are you doing? What steps are you taking? What skills are you building? How many people are you contacting? It has nothing to do with the market. It has to do with you. You are the person who determines your success, not the market. So here's the key. You don't need a new brokerage. You don't need a new CRM. You don't need a new logo. What you do need is more conversations, better execution, more courage. And that's it. If you put those things into action, if you stop planning and start doing, the success that you're looking for may be just around the corner. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychak at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.